Why is it not? Uh-oh. It's not picking up. Yeah. Uh-oh. That's not good. Not gonna. Oh dear. There we go. Thank you, OBS, for being incompetent. Anyways. I'm just like glad I could figure that out before anyone came in. Yo, welcome. Yet another fun chill art stream. This time doing different characters from Splatoon 3, being the Squid sisters, who actually started off in Splatoon 1, but you know, they're like important characters or whatever to the lore, I guess, so they hang out in all of the games. Ooh, doing backgrounds? I always found those to be rather difficult. I personally am mostly a character artist, but I want to get into backgrounds more. Sisters. It's not how you spell that. Sisters. There we go. Okay. Yeah, backgrounds are really cool though. I'm always impressed when people are able to make like sick ass looking backgrounds and stuff. I think the fun part about the Squid sisters like typical pose that they do, because all the idols have like their own pose, is that they do kind of look like they're doing a zombie pose already. It's really funny. New player. And this one. Yeah, because like they'll like in like end screens they'll pose with their arms up like this and their hands just like hanging down loosely. But, you know, they're already in the Halloween spirit all year round. Fun. Having trouble with it? Yeah, that's fair. It can be a pretty difficult thing to get a hang of. I know I for sure haven't. Um, yeah, backgrounds are just like a whole other can of worms in art, that's for sure. I... Yeah, maybe they're like this, because Marie feels like she's got stable, normal standing character energy, and then Allie's the energetic one, so... Yeah, something like that. Okay. And because this is the thumbnail, we make the opacity really low so we can barely see it. Because it's just meant to be a sort of hint at kind of where we want things to be. We mostly want to ignore it. I'm not even sure if that's visible. Oh no, yeah, you can see it. You can see it. Like barely that. Oh shit. Yeah, we just accidentally almost closed my program, sure. What sorry, I got distracted for a little while. What kind of background are you doing? Like a nature kind of thing, or like a cityscape, or like inside a house? Actually, let's turn her slightly so that we can. Yeah, like that maybe. And then adjust this. This needs to be bigger. Actually, opposite of that, stick her leg out more. That's what we want to do. Sort of flatten the heel so that we can have her foot going up. Looks more like she's running into it. Ooh, a desert. Oh, those are like especially hard because half the time you don't have like a lot of variety in the scenery because it's like a lot of sand and cacti. Definitely a difficult endeavor. I wish you good luck. Turn that a bit. It's a bit too much. There we go. Okay, so where the rib cage is, so this should be like there-ish. Be too far out. Anatomy. There, I think. That looks mostly right. Doesn't need to be perfect. Get shoved under her outfit anyways. You know, I nearly forgot that she's a roller main. Girl's gotta be buff as hell. Like, okay. Like her canonical character design is like a skinny little twig as are pretty much all of the characters in this series, which is a travesty. We could use a little more variety, in my humble opinion, but oh well. But like, being completely honest here, so Callie, this is like a fighting game kind of, and so her main weapon is a giant paint roller. Like the paint rollers to scale are maybe like, okay, that's a bit big, but they're like pretty dang large compared to the like inklings and octolings. Like this is her weapon, and it's, you know, it's got like plastic and metal and all the handles and stuff, and it's also like, you know, a paint roller full of paint, which is heavy. And this thing is massive. So realistically, Callie has to be like fucking jacked to be able to use this thing regularly, because one of the attacks, well, like the general attack is that the character will lift it up and then slam it onto the ground. Um, and then they'll like roll with it on, they'll like walk with it on the ground to roll it. So one can imagine that that probably takes a lot of strength to lift an entire like person-sized paint roller into the air and then like chuck it at someone. So like Callie's gotta be fucking ripped. And honestly, I think it's a crime that Nintendo robbed us of Callie just being fucking jacked as hell. Yeah, I'm doing the people's way. Anyways. But honestly, my heart goes out to every single Splatoon artist who draws Callie with just the buffest arms ever. Because she deserves them. She's earned it. Her many years as a roller main have earned her being drawn jacked as shit. Move that over. Move that over. Why am I moving it? I can just redraw it. That's stupid. Yes. Yes, that looks kind of right. Kind of-ish. Somewhat. Not quite. This is too far over. What? Oh. The only way I can deselect things is to like take the selector tool and tap it off of canvas, but sometimes I'll like accidentally hold it too long and so it'll actually like select something off of canvas. So then I just can't draw until I fix it. Stupid. I'm sure there's a much more efficient and reasonable way to deselect. I just don't know what it is and can't be bothered to look it up. Because, you know, my way works, and if it isn't broke, do you need to fix it? Yeah, move this over slightly. Like here. Imagine the neck should be. That looks right. Oh dear. This is... I've put myself in a predicament. This sure is a pose for a head. I don't know about that one. Maybe we come back to that in a second. Let's do the arm. Okay, now using my extensive knowledge of my own art abilities, looking at this, I can tell that I think I've made her arm too long. And a fun, easy way to check is to spin it around. Never mind, it's perfect. Wait, hold on, no, hold on. Like... Yeah, no, that's pretty much good, actually. Congrats me, I guess. Ever so slightly, and then... That doesn't usually happen. I'll be honest. It usually is, like, definitely way too long. She's not buff enough. See, okay, the one problem with me trying to draw Cali muscular is that I don't know how to draw muscles. I really need to practice that one more. It's a good skill to have. It's like you can know the musculature of the human body all you like, but being able to put it into practice is a really good thing to be able to do. Hand. Too small, but the fun part of digital is that we can just make it bigger later. Yeah, that's thumb-shaped. Well, the knuckle tends to be a little lower down. Sure. Okay, so we need to make her hand ever so slightly bigger so that it fits proportionally with body. Yeah, that works. And then big 2 on the head, maybe? I don't know, okay, Splatoon characters, I absolutely adore the art style, but transferring it into my own is a little odd, because, like, I don't really know what kind of face shape to give them, since they all have very massive, round, squished heads. So, like, I want to give them, like, squished heads, and then I, like, try to do it in my style, and it looks nothing like them. But, like, I don't know, because, like, their heads really are massive, though. It's absolutely ridiculous. Because, like, it's almost a chibi style, but it's just, like, quite... It's like, just barely not. So it's a really interesting combo. Okay, her staring straight into the camera looks weird perspective-wise. So we just tilt it off to the side slightly. It's too big, but I think we're getting somewhere. Oof. I think I'm remembering how to draw again, how to draw faces and shit. That's the problem. I keep forgetting to, like, warm up before stream, and so I end up in a predicament where I am doing a drawing stream where I'm supposed to draw, and I forget how to draw. I mean, hey, at least I don't have to be good at video games for them to be entertaining. That's like half the fun sometimes, is just watching the streamer fail miserably at something that reasonably they shouldn't. Watching people suffering, the greatest of content. Like, people like watching others do, like, rage games so much. Like, oh, what are some rage games? There's, like, Bennett Foddy, the, like, getting over it one. I find that to be terribly entertaining because I understand entirely why people call that a rage game. It is a rage game and why people get mad at it. Entirely fair, but I played it. I haven't finished it, but, like, I've played a decent chunk of it, and I've, you know, done the classic thing where I do an oopsie and then get sent all the way back to the beginning. And, like, it was annoying, but I find myself not really getting mad at the game, and more just being like, ah, well darn, shouldn't do that next time. And like I almost wanna like play it on stream at some point in the future to see if like the way I respond to it changes on camera or not. Because like I won't play it up for content, but it would be pretty funny if a game that I just so casually don't care about when I'm playing on my own time makes me lose my shit on stream. Or if I just get to be one of the fuckers who can brag with proof about not getting mad at getting over it with Benefati. Gaming. Okay, I think that's good for now. And then we get over to the neck and we shrink it down ever so slightly. It's mostly good, but it's like a little bit. I hate snapping so much. Yeah, like that. Okay, and now I get to try and draw another character in the same frame. Ugh. This was easier with the deep cut one because one of them was standing and the other was sitting down, so I get to like futz with it a little bit, and it's like not as necessary that they're technically in the same scale because it's really not obvious if they are or not. But now it does matter because it will be obvious if they are in a different if they're like sized or scaled differently because, you know, I should put this on a separate layer. That would be smart. They do need to interact. Because like they're right next to each other in similar enough poses that if they're like weirdly scaled, then it'll like be obvious. Am I leaning her forward? Wanna straighter pose and like not overcompensate for Callie, but somewhat adjust for it. Ooh, that sounds fun. I'm Blue as in the like song about the little guy in a blue world, right? A classic, truly, truly art. That one. Ooh. What's your opinion on the lyrics thing for that song? Because there are some people who are like, oh yeah, you know, he says if I were green I would die. What do you believe that? Because I personally, you know, in my humble opinion, that's ridiculous. If you listen, open your ears to the true words of the song, you would hear that he is indeed saying dabu dee dabu da. Like genuine emotions people get over that is so funny to me. Yeah, cause like, you know, that's just how things on the internet go. You die on a hill that really doesn't matter. You get like, you know, super dramatic over things that aren't super important, and that's the fun of it. You know, that's the great part, is being able to have debate and discourse and have fun with things. But at the same time, it's so hilarious to me when people are like, "Yeah, you said if I were green, I would die," and I'm like, "Where are you hearing this?" I, it's like the people who wholeheartedly believed that the dress was actually white and gold when it was just washed out lighting and um like the contrast of the photo. Like it did look white and gold, that is true. It did look like that in that variant of the photo. But if you think about it, you're like, yeah, well, it does look like that, but it is still blue and black. It just looks somewhat adjacent to white and gold because of the way the photo looks. I cannot speak for the Yanny and Laurel as much, because that was like frequencies and like audio headsets and that kind of thing, and so it's a little more, that one's a little more iffy, I'd say. I don't actually remember what version I heard for that one. I never really bothered with that one, but I think it's interesting, these like differences and debates in what people hear and see in the world, because it reminds that like everything is ever so slightly different for people. Like no one can see the same color. Like the same color doesn't look exactly the same to two different people, and you know, different things feel slightly different for two different people, even if they're experiencing it in the same moment. And something philosophy, the human experience. Not to get dramatic and philosophical while drawing Squid Sisters from Silly Squid Game about, I still can't get over this as a post-apocalyptic game. It's so funny. Because it doesn't look like one and it doesn't feel like one, and then you like take 2 seconds to read any piece of information ever about the game, and it's like, wow, yeah, no, this is Earth, but like all the humans are gone. And it's like surprisingly dark sometimes too. There was an entire war over territory because the sea levels were rising and there wasn't enough room for everyone. So a whole species got shoved underground unwillingly because they lost the war. Yeah, so true. There aren't lyrics saying I was if I was green I would die in that song. It's fun to imagine though. I imagine regardless of if the lyrics say that or not, the little guy would certainly die if he was green. He would implode, confirmed. Um, uh, okay. So we don't worry about how disproportionate this looks right now because we're not done. Something like that. Sure. And then we want to pull this up. And we don't make her buff. I have not buffed Carly? Carly. Yeah, that's her name. Mm-hmm. I have not made Callie buff enough, I don't think. I need to jack her up more, but we'll get there when we get there. Because currently we gotta worry about Marie. Squid sister numero dos. I think she's the first one, actually. Pretty sure she's the older one. The funny part is they're not actually sisters. That's my favorite thing, is that these two are cousins. They're just called the Squid sisters. Like that's their what they named their idol group, despite them not actually being sisters. Mm. Yeah, I think I used to start from the head, and then at one point I like shifted over to starting from like the chest area, because I found that like my proportions, like it used to work for me, and then I don't know, something clicked differently, and then whenever I did the head first, the like proportions would get all weird. And if I like start from the legs, they tend to get weird. Like I don't know what in the world is going on with the order of operations today. Uh but you know, usually I'll start with like the chest and like the torso, and move on to the legs, and I'll like throw the head in as a circle and then finish it later. I want her to be more. Okay, well, we've already gone too far into this to do funny, silly reverse shape language, where one of them is top heavy and the other's bottom heavy, but oh well. That's life. Too late. I should draw them in my more cartoonish style at some point. I don't do enough Splatoon fan art for a game that I play constantly. Like, I play it all the time with my friends, and we have a grand old time, murdering other Squid children, but like I don't do like any fan art for it, and I want to, and I don't know why I don't. 'Cause the character designs in this game are stunning. Like, you know, there's obviously the Inklings and Octolings, the typical humanoid characters of the game, but they have like other characters too that are completely different sea creatures. Like Spike, he's beloved, he's tired, and his head is covered in spikes. It's incredible. I love him with all of my heart. He was the like merch dealer in the first Splatoon game. I never played that one, but you know, you would go to him for like gear upgrades, which would give you better abilities and stuff. Uh, and he was in like a back alley. It was a little silly funny. And you know, he's returned in Splatoon 3 as like part of the DLC options, and you know, he's a sea anemone, I think. Maybe, I forget. But he's got like this massive like shell for hair thing, and it's like covered in spikes, and then there's also like Merch, who's, you know, got like thick ass. Merch is definitely a sea anemone, because he's got like thick ass little sea anemone hair bits. And there's like, oh, what are the other ones? Yeah, there's like big ol' sea slugs, or like massive sea slug hat looking head pieces and little fishies, and there's also a character that is just a butterflied shrimp that's been fried and carries a lemon purse. He's bizarre, and he runs the shoe shop. Or like another character that's just like fried shrimp. Like he's just got a bunch of little legs, and he's fried shrimp, and he ran a shrimp truck. And Krusty Sean, that's his name. Krusty Sean is beloved. The character design is in this game absolutely ridiculous. It is my favorite part. Well, that and the music. The character designs and the music are just really good. Like they did not hold back on that. They held back on the fucking game design, apparently, in this one, but for the character designs, though, that stuff is good. Hmm. Yeah, it's always fun to have that one game that you just keep coming back to, even when you've abandoned all the others. Yeah, cause like I find a lot of other games to be entertaining. You know, I'll play like Cult of the Lamb or Minecraft or any other variety of game. I've been meaning to get into Rain World. I bought the game, but I haven't played it yet because I keep getting distracted. But like at the end of the day, if I want something to fall back on, it'll always be Splatoon. It's consumed my brain. The silly little squids with their little water guns that shoot ink instead of water because water is toxic to them apparently, which is increasingly hilarious every single time I play a specific map. It's called I think Mahi Mahi Resort or something. We always just call it Mahi Mahi because we'll like shorten the names of the maps for our own sanity because some of them are really long. But it's just a pool. It's like a hotel pool full of water because it's for the jellies, which are another species. They're like the most common thing you'll see in the game. They're just little like I mean they're just jellyfish, but they have eyes. That's like pretty much the only difference is that they're just little jellyfish with eyes. And so you'll see them around constantly. And so it's like a resort for them because they can go in the water and the squids will play turf war on that and shoot ink everywhere and sometimes fall in the water and explode. It's very entertaining. Okay. This doesn't completely look like them, but I imagine when I add their hair, this will all come together a little bit better. Right, she's got like sleepy eyes. I shouldn't do their faces right now. I'm gonna want to zoom in to do their faces because they have like the masks, which makes things a little complicated. Okay, so... Oh, wait, do they have, like, longer ears than the player character mod? No, 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 no. They have the same ears. They have the same ears. I think. Probably. I think this will go behind. I'm not gonna bother with making it. Whatever. We'll come back to that. And now we make them hold hands. Just like that. That went shockingly well. This is usually a lot harder. Like, making characters physically interact, like, giving them the right proportions in plane of perspective is difficult enough, but people tend to usually agree that making characters physically interact is, like, really difficult. So lucky me that this went so easily. I do realize that this does look illegible right now. That is the fun part of this kind of thing. So it'll be fixed when I like what's the word, render it, or like when I go in for a cleanup sketch, I'll make it a little more obvious what's actually going on. Yeah, her torso's definitely too long. Okay. I was hoping I could ignore that. But I cannot. I have made her too long. Shall not work. Not the right layer. But we squish her. Actually, let's act a proper squish her first. Not the head. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. And then we proper squish her. And push it down just a bit. And then bring the head and neck down with. Like so. And realize that I need to make her head bigger. Match Callie's. And move this over slightly. Do this. I've suddenly come to realize that she is just disproportionate in general. There we go. That's better. I think her head is still in the middle, mostly. No, it's not. Neck looks weird. Shift that over slightly. Like that. I believe that should be a bit better. Yeah. There we go. Success. Okay. Bring this way, and Hmm. Yeah, I think that looks about right-ish. Yeah. Cool. I have succeeded in connecting the two on the same plane of existence. Huzzah. I get to give her another arm. Marie, not nearly as fast, because she is not a roller main, she's a charger main, so she has a sniper rifle. That is not a hand, that is a monstrosity. And an easy way to double check if your hand is the right size is whether or not it can generally cover most of the face, because that's usually the sort of indicator that you've made it the right size, is if the palm and fingertips are about the size of the face. Yeah, it's a little bit of a guesstimate. It's not like exact, but generally that's what it should be. I do want to make her hand slightly larger though, because these characters do have hilariously large extremities match their hilariously large heads. Still the wrong way. There we go. Okay. Don't mind me, just... Okay. Believe be like this. The one difficult part is figuring out where I need to put the elbow so that neither of the halves of the arm are too large. Somewhere here, I think. Yeah. That looks mostly right. I think. Ugh, I'm so excited for Side Order to come out. It is in ages, but I really want to know what's going on because it's got this like sick ass fucking like dead coral sort of vibe, like very sterilized looking. Like a lot of the imagery is of like bleached coral and sort of just like almost hospital sterilization vibe for the area, which it's a city. Like it's at least the shots we've shown where like bleached coral are like takes place in a city, so it's especially like polarizing and strange looking to have like what was once a very lively city entirely empty and just full of like bleach white coral and just lifeless. It's so creepy looking. I'm very excited to see what it turns out to be. Because, you know, that's a cool concept. And like the final Splatfest of Splatoon 2, like the last one that like mattered, was Order versus Chaos, and Chaos won, which a lot of people are in agreement that like that's what influenced the sort of setting of Splatoon 3, which is the Splatlands, where it's all like sort of it's got kind of anarchist vibes-ish. Yeah, I mean the local news is run by a bunch of bandits, so things are a little wacky over in the Splatlands, but like the side order like story DLC sort of has the vibes of like what if Order won, or you know what would be the side effects if the other team had succeeded, you know, where would that take us, is what everyone's thinking it looks like, because it really does have those vibes of just like sterilized, clean, like forced into conformity kind of order. I'm very glad that of the game that we got, like story and aesthetic wise, with like deep cut and you know all this like in the desert and such. It looks really nice. It's got good vibes to it. But I do always wonder what would have happened if, you know, if Team Order had been the ones to win. Where would that have taken us? You know, what kind of game would we have if Chaos hadn't won? And I don't know if Side Order will answer that, but I'm intrigued to see where it takes us anyways. I also really hope that the current team doing like balance patches and all that kind of stuff for Splatoon 3 are fast learners, because the thing is, like the original team like doing Splatoon like in Nintendo, the like Splatoon group all got redistributed to other games like Tears of the Kingdom because they needed more people. So we ended up for Splatoon 3 with like a whole new group of people, and they don't have the experience with the game and the community that the original team had, considering it's been like, how long has it been since Splatoon 1 came out? I think it's been like 10 years. So they had like a lot of time of like, you know, learning how the game itself works and like how the community views it and like getting a lot of community feedback and, you know, sort of sculpting the game franchise into what it was. And then they got replaced with a bunch of new people who don't have all that experience. And while I don't blame them for not having the experience, it does kind of suck because they, thusly, in not having the experience, have no idea what the community would want and aren't really practiced in listening to the community and the feedback that we give. And they also just don't really know the general who's playing this game, because they tried. I think we're all under, at least I'm under the impression, I shouldn't speak for a whole of the Splatoon community, but I'm under the impression that they're sort of building the game to be more like younger audience friendly, because they made a lot of the maps like way simpler. And like the sucky part is we saw some maps in like trailers that looked really good and like had a lot of complexity to them in the sense of different routing and places to go and like open areas with cover in it. Um, and inkable walls. They had inkable walls. I missed those. And it like looked really good. And then that same level in the actual game is so different. Like it's drastically different from what it was in the trailers. And the trailers were like not really all that long before the game came out, all things considered. So they like completely overhauled this entire map for the worse. Like a lot of people are in agreement that it was for the worse because it's like really simplistic in a way that doesn't allow for a lot of variety in gameplay, and most of the map design is what led to the issues people have with like special balancing, like crab tank, which would have been a perfectly fine and balanced special, all things considered, at the start of the game if we had the maps that were shown in the trailers, because the like problem with crab tank meta in Splatoon 3 was that all of the maps were, as people jokingly refer to them, Tetris pieces or hallways. And Crab Tank is really good at covering a small area. It's way too good at covering a small area to the point that in a game where all of your maps are really small areas, it dominated. It was way too overpowered. It needed to be like nerfed down, and they didn't want to like immediately nerf a special, so they try to like dance around it a lot with like buffing other specials to fight back against crab. And yet like a good chunk of people, specifically like Prochara, and I don't remember the other person's name off the top of my head, but did like an entire video on Splatoon maps and like how they could be improved. And it was a really good video. Um, yeah, I think I might make this rant into like a mini video on YouTube. I don't know. So I implore anyone listening to this to go watch that ProChar video on maps because it was really good. And a lot of the like I personally agree with a lot of the like adjustment suggestions they made uh on like what could be done to make the maps a little better, because in being so compact and so small and like not having a lot of side routes or like options for where to go, have some maps the entire thing being a choke point, etc., etc., it led to a lot of issues with gameplay and variety, and it led to crab tank meta, something that could have been solved by having good maps. And by solved, I meant avoided, because that would require adjusting a lot of the maps in pretty major ways, and I don't think Nintendo would really want to put resources into doing that, at least not nearly as quickly. It does bring to memory the Piranha Pit from Splatoon 2, which is a nickname given to a stage by players because the map design was so bad in a way that like a good chunk of the map was like a piranha pit. You enter, you're dead. And so people were like freaking out about it reasonably because it's like, dude, what the fuck is this? What have you given us? And Nintendo went, oh shit, and they fixed it. They pulled it out of rotation and like changed the map design around, and then everyone was like, damn, this is good. They listened to the community and they improved the game and it was great. And then they fucked up all the maps in Splatoon 3. I think the most heartbreaking part is Humpback Pump Track is a map that debuted in Splatoon 2. And it was one that I was honestly somewhat fond of. Like, it wasn't my favorite, but I was fond of it. And being that Splatoon 2 was my first game in the series, uh, them like bringing back a map from Splatoon 2, it's like, holy shit, Humpback Pump Track. I remember that one. That was a really fun map. And so I was excited for it. I didn't want to get my hopes up though, because I knew what they'd been doing to maps. And they reveal it, and I go to play the map. I go into recon mode with some friends and we just explore the thing, and it takes me a second, and then I immediately recognize they made the entire map smaller. Like it's not just they removed some side routes or like they like adjusted a few things to make it fit the game better. They literally made the map like just have a significantly noticeable smaller surface area. Like it just got significantly smaller to the point that I could tell, not even by like having to think really hard about it or like double check or like do any kind of, go into Splatoon 2 to see if my memory was, messing with me. It was so much of a decrease in size that I could just tell when I entered the map, and it sucks because that wasn't the best map in Splatoon 2, to be honest. Like it wasn't really like a super great map. Like it was a fine one, but it wasn't like good. And so it led to a situation where a map that wasn't, necessarily the best from Splatoon 2 being made really small and compact, which made it even worse. And it's a weird situation because a map that had like an okay amount of variety to it is now in like a position where there's like two ways you can leave your spawn that do anything, and it's really repetitive. Like it's not the worst map in Splatoon 3. I've seen worse. There has been much worse. For example, Mahi Mahi, or which is so tiny. Mahi Mahi was minuscule. They updated the map, and the update has come out, but I haven't played it yet. I just like haven't gotten around to it. Um but like they they've had to update Mahi Mahi, and I saw like some visuals of the map changes, and they made it like bigger. They like just extended certain parts, and that's exciting. But the fact they would have to in the first place because it's so small is just they've made every map in this game so tiny, and it's not good. It's not going well. But anyways, half of that was regurgitated from the Prochar video, I'm pretty sure. So, again, go watch that if you're interested. It's a really well done video. A lot of effort was put into it by the two people who made it. And boy, do I wish Nintendo takes their advice. Because a lot of the designs are like the design suggestions they had would be like super big improvements for like variety in the gameplay and like how things would function. This is earlier, yeah. That's weird. Okay. Wait, that's not what? That's on this layer? Oh no, that's the okay, sure. Yeah, alright, why not? It's all gonna get merged together anyways, it's whatever. This is on this layer though. No, it's not. It's still on this. I don't know what layer anything is on. This is bad. Okay. Uh, yeah. And like the game is fine. It functions in the state that it's in. It's not like the worst. It could be significantly worse, but it would just be nice if some things were fixed to be like improved upon. Because there's just some parts of it that are like, really, Nintendo? That I don't think we would have had to worry about nearly as much if we had the same people working on the game that we did originally with Splatoon 1 and 2. So it's just an unfortunate part of game industry because sometimes you gotta relocate people to a different project and then they never got located back or to where they were to what they were working on originally, and now we're just stuck with the new people who aren't as familiar. Like it's not that they don't know what they're doing; they know what they're doing, but I don't think what they're doing is something that a good chunk of the community agrees with. And, Pro Tour's videos specifically are from the perspective of a competitive player for Splatoon, which is different from the casual player scene. But even I, as a casual player, I'm more invested in like getting super good at like Salmon Run, which is a whole nother ballpark. Um, but like I would consider myself a casual player when it comes to the normal like Turf War or ranked modes, and even I'm over here like, wow, this is kind of hell sometimes because of the map design and a lot of the gameplay design and stuff. And it's like it just doesn't feel great a lot of the time. Um, and we'll just have to see how the game continues in its lifespan, which has been predicted by Nintendo to be rather short, all things considered, compared to Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. But, we'll see how it goes. What is going on with her shoe? I'm just giving her elf shoes at this point. This is... Oh boy. Okay, and I think that looks better. Uh, yeah, I think that looks better. Oh my god, my roommates are being really loud in the kitchen, which is like right next to my room. I hope y'all can't hear that. Like, I know my mic isn't picking it up when I'm not talking, but I don't know if it's being picked up when I am talking. Oh, woe is me. The life of someone working in a place where other people also live. I really don't know what's going on with this shoe. I have no idea how to fix this. This is like the weirdest perspective and pose ever that I've given myself, and I have no idea what to do with it. Oh my goodness. Hmm. I'm excited for after stream though, because I'm planning on making an apple pie to take to work with me. Well, okay, I'm gonna make an apple pie normal sized to keep at home for me and my roommates because it's delicious and I want apple pie. And then I'm gonna make a bunch of like mini ones so that I can take them to work with me easily in like a Tupperware or something and like share them with my coworkers. Because that sounds fun, and I like baking, and I haven't baked enough recently. And what's more fun than making some apple pie for the fall season? And I want practice with making things like pastry anyways, because like I could just buy pastry from the store or whatever, but I feel like making the pastry myself would be more fun. Okay, I think I fixed it. I don't know how, but it looks kind of good. We're gonna leave it there for now. I think this shoe functions. I think I got it. Huzzah. Okay, so flip test, right? I have oh god. Well, actually, no, yeah, that pretty much huh, most of that passed the flip test. I do need to move this. down and turn it slightly, but like other than that, other than her fucking titty looking weird, pretty much good. I think that's better. Uh, just this, the connection point to the, yeah. And then flip again. Yeah, that looks good. Cool. I am going to make this a little closer. Okay. I think we're good on the anatomy, and there's no big man in the background this time. No big ass stingray to draw. Oh, I wish that we had Splatoween drawing or like character designs for Marina and Pearl this year. That would be sick as hell if we had those. Oh yeah, I don't need this anymore. Um, because like Pearl and Marina, I think they'd make very fun spooky designs. Wrong layer. Uh, and like I'm sure they had like Splatoween designs in the previous games, but I don't know if they have any in this game. I mean, they basically don't exist in this game anyways, but like in the time period of this game, because they're currently on like tour canonically, I think. Marina has a really cool like orange like suit look going on, which is very fun. But it'd be fun if they could be spooky. Oh, they have like little collars. I forgot about that. Okay, so we give them their fun little spooky outfits. What even is that? Is it just orange or is it like a little jack-o'-lantern pin? I can't tell. I'll take a closer look later. Oh, wait, their earrings are glow in the dark, aren't they? That's so cool. That's based as hell. So they've got. I've given them more titty than these two actually have. Again, I'm doing the people's work. Uh, giving them ever so slightly bigger tits and making Callie buff. It's what we deserve. Um, and they've got the like these things. Yeah, this is just their normal outfits, but in Halloween colors, and then they've got like face paint on, which honestly, good for them. They know what they look good in, and they stick with it. So she's got the skirt, and then where does that go? Like little above, I think. Something like that. And they have gloves on with same sort of orange circle. Just a glove, I'm not gonna bother drawing it right now. Can save that for later when we're actually drawing it. Okay, and okay, so Callie has like the shorts. Because they're big ol' shorts. And then this just goes up like this. Okay. Simple but effective. That's good character design. I mean, of course, having like complicated character designs isn't a bad thing. Um, but sometimes it's good for it to just be like recognized. Like being recognizable is the most important part, I think. That and having fun. Having fun, and if you want like people to know your characters, then having your designs be recognizable is really important. Um, so like working on silhouette and uh, having distinct features on top of all the like having all the fun stuff is important, yes, so that people enjoy the character design. Because if you know people are just like, it's a character, and they won't recognize it because they won't care enough to remember it. But if it's fun for you, then it's probably fun for the people looking at it too. Um, but like having, those like distinct features, like I mean, as cheesy as it is, looking at like popular cartoons, like the silhouettes of their characters, like SpongeBob or Mickey Mouse and SpongeBob's distinct square shape, or I guess it's the rectangle, Mickey Mouse's ears, things like Finn's hat from Adventure Time, or I'd say like Steven's hair is from like Steven Universe is a pretty noticeable character trait in his silhouette. Or like continuing on with Steven Universe, things like Garnet's hair, the like square shape, um or like in Powerpuff Girls, just the shape of the Powerpuff Girls, or things like Miss Bellum, um like her shape language is really strong too. So like having good shape language and like recognizable silhouettes is, I think, an important part of uh, effective character design. But at the end of the day, what matters most is that the person making the character is having fun with it. If everything you do in designing your character is just for the sake of it being recognizable to other people and not because you want to, if you don't like it, but it's technically good by like textbook standards, then I'd wager it's not even really that good. Like it may look good, but if there's no soul in it, why bother? Because the greatest part about character design is being able to take an idea and bring it to life. And if you don't want to bring life to something, then why are you doing it? Kind of thing. That's my philosophy. I think it's good to have fun with the stuff you're doing and not just do it for the sake of other people when it comes to art. Unless it's a commission, then in that case, well, I mean, they're paying you, so that's kind of the point is that you're doing it for them because they're paying you to do it. But, it's a little more nebulous with like making art to post on like social media or because like it kind of you're doing it for other people because you're trying to show people that like, hey, I'm good at art. Maybe you should commission me for art of your characters. But at the same time, it's like you're also doing it for you, especially if it's like your OCs or, like a fandom that you enjoy. Like I personally do a lot of OC art and fandom art, and as much as, the audience that I have crafted for that stuff, I'm kind of doing it for them because they're here. Uh, well, not like here in stream, but they're showing up and like engaging with my content, so it is kind of for them, but at the end of the day, it's mostly for me because I don't want to make things that I don't enjoy just so that other people can enjoy it, unless they're paying me to, because giving me money is different. Like if I'm being given money to do something, like art-wise, then like, yeah, sure. I may not be having the most fun with it, but I still enjoy the act of drawing. Um, so it's not like terrible or anything. And, that's half the point of building an audience is showing people, hey, my art is cool and I make cool things. You want to pay me to make you cool things? Because, everybody's got to eat, and like pay rent and shit. But it's if it's like not commissions, but just like things that you're making and you're not having fun with it, why make it in the first place? Fun is half the spice of life. Fun is most of the spice of fun is the spice of life. Life is spiceless without fun. You don't want a bland dish. You gotta have fun with it, or else you're just gonna end up with a pile of cold plain white rice. Sauceless pasta. And I mean, some people like their pasta sauceless. Some people enjoy a good plate of plain white rice. I personally am partial to some good just plain rice every once in a while if it's like alongside other delicious dishes. But you don't want to have that every day. That gets boring. You don't want to have the same meal every day at all. My metaphors are just descending into madness. I've been really tired today, so I'm kind of just rambling on about nothing at this point. Which, I mean, hey, better than not talking, because that's the thing with like streams. You wanna keep it's like keep talking and nobody explodes game. You can't shut up or else you're gonna have dead air on your stream and people might not want to stick around. I just realized that my playlist has been off this entire time. Musicless. Whoops. Anyways. Yeah, that especially isn't good, is if you have dead air, but you don't even have any like music to fill it, because sometimes it can be like a casual, not really talking much stream, but there's something going on and there's like cool music in the background. But not having music definitely makes it a little less good. Whoops. Yeah, Marie just looks chronically tired, which like, girl, me too. Same, bestie. I am tired all of the time. It's a travesty because like for my work I have to get up at like 7 a.m. most days, and like sure that's not the earliest. There are people who wake up at like 4 in the morning. But the thing is, as someone where my body wants to wake up at like 10 or 11, having to wake up at 7 a.m. really sucks. Because I take a while to wake up too, so it's like, ugh. I feel like a zombie every morning. It's not good. But at some point in the future, I should be able to escape from the clutches of retail. Maybe. We'll see. I hope. And actually, hopefully be able to rely on my art more. Or at the very least, just get a different, real job. Ugh. So that I can support myself without having to wake up at 7 in the morning. I don't know, get a night shift job, that'd be cool. But the cards did not draw well for me currently, so we'll have to see if the gods smile upon me in the future. Whatever gods exist out there, I don't know. Okay, so... I think I made her eye too small. Definitely. I've also made their little nose makeup too big. That's fine. We can fix that. Yeah, because it's just like on... Well, okay, I guess it does cover their entire noses, but that looks weird in my style, so we will make it not cover their entire noses, but just the tip. I'll fix Callie's face later. It's fine. We're mostly just plotting out where things need to go. And also fixing the sizing because her eye is too small. What kind of eyebrows do these two have? Oh, they got like circle eyebrows. Ovals, I guess. That looks good. I don't... Oh no, she does actually have a little one down there. That explains why her face didn't look right. Okay, I honestly don't remember what their shoes look like. If they have heels, I will riot because I swear to God the exact same thing happened with Shiver, where it turns out she's got wedges. I'm pretty sure they have heeled boots actually. They're wearing different shoes for this. Hot take. It's a Halloween costume, so they've got spooky normal boots. if they turn out to have who in fact have heels. I'm gonna just give them spooky normal boots because fuck that. And now that's meant to look like a continuous line, so let's do this one. And then that one. Okay, and the other side just has one on the top. Oh, right, because she's got a mold there, so. Like, here, I think. That looks about right. And then Callie has 2 on the bot. Oh, she also has them. Right, yeah, because classic character design where they're like opposites, and so they have, you know, the same thing but on different sides. Which is especially funny because, again, they're not actually sisters, they're just cousins. So it's not even like a, oh, classic funny haha genetic thing. It's like, no, they come from different parents. Maybe it runs in the family like a lot or something, though, I don't know. You know, goes generations back. Who knows? Does that go over or... I don't actually remember if their bottom tooth goes over or under the teeth. I think it goes under, because that makes the most sense. Yeah, so I would just give her normal teeth then. That's a tragedy. I can't give her silly little squid tooth. Oh well. Okay, yeah, you definitely can't see her mole from here though, so I'm not gonna bother drawing it. Right, the hair. Ooh, almost forgot about that. Okay, so she, like... Oh, that, like, definitely covers her other eyebrow. Okay, and then she has a little bit sticking down here. We'll be extending the ear slightly. I adore character designs like this, where they got funky little ears. You like sharp little pointy ones, or like wacky fish ears. Like it's so entertaining because you can do so much with the way that it like connects to the head and like Technically, humans can move our ears like a little bit. Some people are like able to like wiggle them a little bit, but you know, with a longer ear, you're able to do a lot more. It's able to like move further, so it can be like really emotive. You know, you can have it like stick further up when they're happy, or like droop down when they're sad. Kind of like how Ghibli like uses hair. Sometimes, like if a character is like angry, uh, they'll like fluff the hair up more, so it'll like flare up a little bit relative to if it was normally like more down-ish. And it's fun to be able to like mess around with character design aspects to give characters more ways to emote and like have variety in their expressions and stuff. And that's why I ensured that with like the species I'm designing, kind of, they have like feather ear covering things. They don't really have like proper ears. They have like ear holes, but then they have like a little thingy. It's okay. So a lot of people will like sometimes draw like bird characters with like wings instead of ears on like their head and stuff, which incredible character design. Absolutely scrumptious character design there. I have one or two characters like that, and I appreciate it greatly, but I didn't want to do that for like the species I'm designing, so instead it's more like just like one little joint. Like it's not like a full like wing, but instead it's just like one piece of the thing, and it's able to, you know, move up and down like a shoulder joint, and then it has like feathers attached to it. So you end up in a situation where you can't actually see the thing, but it just looks like they have like feathers attached to their face, or to the side of their face, and then it like sort of peters off in like sort of downy feather fluff on their actual face, in like a sort of freckle-ish pattern, I'd say, kind of. Like it alludes, it like mostly stays on like the cheeks and stuff, and so, you know, but it's able to like move up and down, and like you know, if it's like closed more, then they're like calmer, and it'll like fluff up when they're like scared or angry, or like droop when they're sad. And I think that's really fun for like character design and like art options for the actual characters themselves when they're in situations, being able to like have more variety in how they physically respond to their emotions. Anyways, back to Splatoon. Another thing I love about Splatoon is like the hair, and the way that that's like been done, because it's like it's a simplistic rule set. You know, it's like just a couple simple rules, so it's relatively easy to follow, but it gives just the right amount of constraint, I think, for allowing for like interesting designs and like you know, attempts for something. Because so their hair, in quotes, which is just their tentacles, technically for octolings they're arms, but Nintendo refers to them as tentacles, so I will do the same. They have like a set amount based on the creature that they're designed after, which for the Inklings, they're designed after squids, so they have yeah, they're allowed to have like 6 hair tentacle things, because their like arms and legs count as their other limbs. So they have, you know, 2 arms, 2 legs, so that's 4, and then plus 6 is 10, which is how many limbs a squid typically has. So you can have 6 different tentacles that you can, you know, sort of do whatever with. And then for octolings, you can have 4, because, you know, octopi have 8 limbs, and so that's 4 and 4. And so it leads to like interesting constraints with how do you maneuver this set amount of material in a way that makes it look good and makes it look interesting. And of course, you know, even Nintendo themselves fudges the rules a bit because there's certain designs like the sort of spiral pigtails where it's like clearly far more than just four, but it's not like, or six, I mean, but it's not, you know, just like a proper one of the kinds of tentacle options that there are. It's like sliced. So it's basically like you took one of the tentacles and like put it through a paper shredder or something. Or like a very square shaped meat grinder kind of thing, and then it like curled up. Which, to preface, I'm pretty sure the octolings and inklings can't really feel anything in their tentacles, so it doesn't hurt. I mean, like, they get haircuts all the time, and I imagine if the haircuts were painful, they wouldn't get them. Or like other ones where it's like merged into one, sort of, with like a specific sort of like straight cut haircut that exists. Or like they'll sort of merge it into one and then like slice it up in little bits with the like durian haircut, where it's like just a bunch of little spikes all on top. Because it's like all been merged into one and then flattened, and then they like snipped it up so that it would look like spiky and stuff, and it's really cool because it gives you a set of rules that can lead to interesting designs, and then also Nintendo themselves show that there are ways to bend those rules that also make sense, like in universe, because you know it makes sense that if you're able to cut them, then like inklings and octolings would cut their tentacles in interesting new ways to get interesting new styles. Because you know they're all about fashion and freshness and that kind of thing. The inklings and octolings are. They're obsessed with it. They are obsessed with looking cool. It is the entirety of their culture is just fashion and music and all that kind of thing. It's awesome. Okay, so then she has like her hat thing, which is on this side, and it looks, I can't remember entirely. It's something, that's for sure. I don't actually know what it is. But it's just got a little hat thing or whatever. Kind of like this, I think. Close enough. We'll fix it later. Okay, no, that's a little too. A little too much of a taper. More like that, I think. Yeah, that looks better. Again, good enough. We'll fix it later. And she got her like hair bow in the back, which I think I will actually do this. And then there we go. Where the music stopped again for a second. Like, that's taking an awful long time to move on to the next song. Okay, and then we take this and we move it up slightly. Yeah. Not too much though. More like that. That works. Right, I don't have to undo this thing because it's not selected on anything anyways. I do want to make this ever so slightly bigger though. There we go. That's better. Okay, and then like the other bits go over this way. Yeah. Cool, so barely any of that is visible. Great. I think we want to bring it up to like here maybe to try and make it a little bit more you can see it kind of thing. Yeah. And then we get rid of everything inside of here. As much as it pains me to do so. And that is not necessary to be visible. Okay, I think actually we might fudge the rules a little bit. Do that. Yeah, leave that as it is, and then grab this specifically and just like a little bit, just like a little. We'll come back to that actually. We'll readjust to account for her bow later. I think I made it too small anyways, to be honest. Their hair bows are like massive. Oh geez, is it already 7? Damn, time flies. What does Callie's hair look like? I cannot see Callie's hair from here. I'd wager it's the same as Marie's, just reversed though, because that seems to be a pretty common theme with these two. That it's just the same, but you know, the other direction. You know, because one of them, her eyes goes up, the other, her eyes go down. One of them, she's got a mole on the left, the other has a mole on the right. One has shorts, the other has a skirt. One has long hair, one has short hair, technically. Both of them have long hair, but like Callie has ridiculously long hair, and Marie has average long hair. For an inkling, that is. Okay, so, you know, they have the 2 different hats, and like they're on different sides, etc., etc. don't have her ears drawn. This complicates things. Okay. That like is massive fucking. What even is that? Is it like fish or something? I think it might be fish. I'm not drawing it nearly big. I don't know how to draw it from this perspective. We're not drawing it from that perspective. We are, however, going to draw her large hair bow. Hers is on the others. Yeah, okay. She also has an equally massive hair bow. Made of her own hair. Girl bossing it. Okay, I can't do it that direction. It needs to be more like this. Because of the way her head is tilted up. So we would not see the underside, which is a travesty. Or, yeah, we wouldn't see like the inside, which is a travesty because I think it looks really cool. I like drawing the like longer hair tentacles for like inklings and octolings. Like inklings, I mean octolings. I don't think usually have the like shorter version. Because just the like color contrast, being able to draw like the suction cups, it looks cool, you know? We move this over a little bit, just to get it out of the way so I don't draw them over each other. I should probably leave it where it is, actually. That might be helpful so that I don't draw them over each other. Too late. Okay, and then we move this over. Ah, we're fine. Like there looks good. Actually, no. We're gonna wanna put that in a very different place. We want it back here. Yeah. And then we unselect and touch this a little bit more. Okay, and if we erase everything inside, then we are left with... That kind of makes sense. I think I'd pull this in a bit though. Actually, I'd probably do this too. Yeah. That looks better. And erase that. And that's most of her hair, but she does have the little things too, which are absolutely massive for Callie. Like, ginormous, I mean. Like, they're way bigger than the player characters as well. Because, like, I think Marie has, like, the same length of hair as the player character, but she just puts it up into the bow tie, or at the very least, it's not, like, too much longer. But Callie's are absolutely ginormous, because they reach down to her, like, mid-calf, or, like, her knees, while put up in a bow. Girl has way too much hair. Like, my god, go get a haircut, darling. That can't feel good. That cannot possibly feel good. That is so much hair. Like, it has to be so heavy. I can't imagine walking around with that much hair on my head. Because, like, the tentacles themselves, they're not, like, the weight of normal human hair, mind you. They're like octopus or like squid tentacles, so they're, like, way heavier. They're, like, full of ink. I think the other one would just have, like, vaguely back here. I don't actually have to draw it. It should be kind of something like that. Sure. That makes sense. I don't need to draw this part, but I'm going to anyways, I guess. Does help. Oh no. Oh, god damn it. Fuck. Well, shit. Alright. That's life for ya, I guess. It happens sometimes. You fuck up, you draw on the wrong layer. You sob and cry. Try and at least avoid most of it. We do want that. I've confused myself. Okay, so we go around this way, and we avoid this, and we avoid keeping this, and then we do want the external, but we do not want these. So we do that. We don't want that. Oh my god. I think I got it. That was confusing. Okay, anyways, we gotta delete all of this. It's on the wrong layer. And then we control V, and I fucked it up. It's fine, we got the important parts at least. Yeah, okay, I did the reverse of what I meant to. That's fine. We got most of it, and that's all that I really needed. Now we just go over it. Well, actually, okay. No, let's be smart about this. We'll just get rid of this part. Erase the nonsense that we don't need. Fill the gap. Because this can help with showing that, hey, maybe I need to make this curve a little bit wider so that it makes a little more sense with the way that the hair is intended to be shown as going. And like with the color placement, whether or not it'll be visible, yeah, it would be. Cool. And then we take this and we copy it again. We'll see. Okay. Actually, we want to delete this. Remove layer. And then we merge. Wrong thing. We merge with layer below. And I fixed it. I'm a genius. This is why we always check our layers, because it ends up in absolute annoying nonsense if you don't. Of course, this connection point doesn't matter, it's not going to be visible, but it's the hair. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Because other than, like, they're like shoes, I guess. Everything drawn out that's relevant. Yeah. Pick. 10 minutes left before planned stream end time. I could just end it here. Because if I start rendering, I'm gonna want to continue rendering, and I don't want to be streaming for 6 hours or something, because the sketching phase doesn't take terribly too long for me, but rendering it out and like Getting things done takes ages. I am not a very quick artist, I've found. Honestly, I might cut it here, I think. Do the glove detailing. Honestly, I kind of like drawing gloves because it's pretty much the same as just drawing a hand, except you can add like some lines to like the sides of the fingers, and bammo shablamo, they're wearing a glove. And I mean, sometimes it's even easier. You don't even draw the like lines or anything. You just add like a cuff and make it like a different color. It's like it's super easy relative to a lot of like other clothing items I've found, which is very, very nice. It's always so nice when something is like an easy fix, easy kind of thing to do. Oh, I haven't addressed the hands. I'll do that later. I don't know if I feel like doing that right now. I don't know if right now is a holding hands pose fixing moment. And you know, if it's like a thicker glove, then you can like show that off by like going slightly over instead of like following the line of your hand drawing. And like squaring out the tips of the fingers too. Like if you're drawing a thicker glove, I'd suggest, you know, making it a little bigger and then like having the tips of the fingers be square instead of whatever shape you would normally make it, like pointed or round. Like squaring it off a little bit. I guess more like a trapezoid. To short of so. That's the correct words. To sort of show the like dimension in the sense of like the like seams of the fabric flattening out the edges of the finger. Okay. Yeah, this is turning out pretty good, all things considered. I think this will make a lovely finished product if I can finish the product. Yeah, I have on my Instagram, like, I don't know if it's in my bio or like in my like display name, but King of Work in Progresses. I find that to be very humorous because I have a very, very strong habit of not finishing what I start ever, because my favorite part of the drawing process is sketching. So I'll just like start something and then never finish it because it's like, oh, well, I got past the fun part. Anyways, on to the next project. I'm working past that because it's like really rewarding to have a finished art piece. But there's a little bit of slugging to get there, definitely. I gotta like fight my way there. Well, regardless, it is 7:24 and I can't think of anything to fill in for 6 minutes other than just fiddling with hands, so I think I might call it here. It's been a lovely stream. Thank you for coming by, anyone who's still here. And if you end up coming by tomorrow, I'll be playing some video games, very likely more Hollow Knight. Thank you for joining the stream, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye!